Alright, so here's the 370Z. Has quite a few things done to it. So this is the AMUSE rear bumper. He said everything is from Fly One Motorsports, including this wing right here. Has carbon fiber. Not sure if you guys can really see it. This thing is beautiful. Has the Moto tail lights. And then he also has carbon fiber right here. And then he has the Street Aero diffuser for the AMUSE body kit. So as you guys can see, it looks super dope. He has a Tomei exhaust. And then I believe these are NK wheels. They are 18s, and then he has 35 sidewalls on them. Then he also has the side markers on there that he just installed recently. It is a 6-speed manual. Beautiful steering wheel. Has a bunch of carbon fiber pieces in the interior. Once we install the controller and everything, I'll actually show you guys how the inside looks like. And he has an AMUSE front bumper. So it looks pretty nice. So overall, it's an amazing looking car. I think it's going to look even better once we put it on air suspension. It's going to look really sick. And it's going to complete the look. He said he's on stock struts, that everything is completely stock. So all he really has is just wheels on there. So it should be pretty easy install, straightforward. Nothing should be stripped, because that was my only concern, that if he has like coilovers on there, they most likely would have stripped the bolts if they tried removing them. But since everything is stock, I shouldn't really have any problems as long as I use the correct sockets for everything. So yeah, let me go ahead and open the trunk really quick. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is we need to go ahead and remove all this. He has an aftermarket setup, which is actually really cool because I can just use this to install the tank and everything. Now we have removed most of the interior pieces that go at the bottom. The wheel, take it off by spinning this thing off. And then you have to take off this piece that just has this clip right here. You're going to push it outward. But first you need to remove this piece right here, which has more clips. There's going to be two right here. One there. One on this side that you need to remove. Pull this upward. This will come out. And then you can go ahead and start removing those at the end. So the reason I have to remove this one is because there's a grommet right here that I use. And then there's this one right here that I use. So on this side I don't technically need to remove anything. But on this side I do need to go ahead and remove this piece. So let's go ahead and do that. Once I remove all that stuff, all the interior pieces, then we can go ahead and start running the lines. So we'll skip forward to that part. Alright, so I'm at a stopping point right now. I ran all the wires pretty much. They're not connected yet, but I did add most of the connections to it already. We have the two main wires. So the main harness and then one to the compressor. Well, they're both going to be for the compressor, but you have two main harnesses for the power lines. And then we have one air line running through that side over there. So it goes all the way down, following that main harness right there to the car. Going down, and then it goes through the bottom right here, goes all the way in through this piece, and we have to take this off just like the other side. See how it's all removed? We have to take all that off and then run it through the bottom, which is then going to lead here inside of this. So I tucked it inside, that way it doesn't come off. Then it goes all the way up there, up to the top from right here. And then now these over here, and I have one of the airlines, which is this one here, going to the bottom under that plate right there. There's a grommet that's at the bottom, and then I've connected all of my wires and everything together. So for each red one you need one of these with the green fuse inside, which is that one right there. And then you need these connected at the end. For these you have to grab something in order to be able to compress them. That way it squishes it together and it sticks like that. And then I use my heat gun in order to make this shrink and form to the wire. Same thing for this side. Connected right there, shrunk it, and then I connected the other side as well. Because there's two compressors, so you need two main power sources. And then for the black ones, same thing. Out of the yellow ones, and then we're going to connect it to the ground over here, and the red ones obviously go to the red one over here. I will be adding more electrical tape, just because when you do squish it together, it does kind of create some cuts in it, which exposes the wire. So I'm going to add electrical tape over it, that way it seals it up properly. And then going to the other side, same thing as well. goes to the back right there. You can see the wire right here. There's only one. You can put your other airline through here if you have an automatic. If it's a manual, you don't really have a lot of space to run the airline, so I do it from the outside. So for his car, I will be running his airline for the front strut on his driver's side under the car. So right now we just have this pink wire. It's gonna go in there. And then it goes back here. You can kind of see it through this hole right here that's removed. And then you feed it down here, following these other lines. And it goes all the way to the front right here. And then we're gonna connect it to one of the fuses up here. I connected to the cigarette lighter. So I will be buying another piece for this right here on the other end in order to be able to connect it there. But yeah, that's it. That's how everything's done for the wiring. Now all we have to do is connect the compressors. The relays are attached right here. There are already these 10mm bolts that are attached right there, so just take those off and then put it through the relay and then attach it, tighten it up, and it's going to stay like that. So that's the relay, and then this is for the compressors. There's going to be 2 for each one. And then this right here, do not cut these off. These are for the height sensors. If you ever want to purchase height sensors in the future, you can go ahead and do that and connect them. In his case, he didn't get them. For the 370Z, you have to make some custom brackets for height sensors, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to make something custom to make the height sensors fit. But you don't really need it in this car. I think it's just extra money that you don't really need to spend on. So that's it. I'm going to start putting like everything back together on the inside, and then we're going to go ahead and start working on the bags. Alright guys, so here's the rear pretty much installed. I have the bag right there with the strut, and then the airline's going to come from the inside, from the grommet. That's how it looks installed. And then there's a hole at the bottom. And then if we look at the other side, I still need to put it on. But this is a direct bolt on. But then when it comes to this right here, you have to drill a hole down there. And then you have to drill another hole and install your rib nut up there. And then once that's done, you can go ahead and install the airbag. And then I have my airline somewhere around here, just hanging out. So then I'll be able to connect that to the airbag. So right now we're pretty much done with the back, and then I got to move over to the front. Alright guys, so here's this side now complete. Turn the flashlight on. Now this is all connected up. It's ran through the back where we took off the battery in that hole, and then it goes up and then down into that line. Everything else is secured. This goes on here. All the lines are back in place where they go. And then I did have to buy a new bolt for the bottom for this one right here because I ended up stripping. This is a M14 1.50. It took me a long time to find that nut, but they're locking nuts, so it's going to be a lot better than the original ones. And then the other side, same thing. It's ran up from the back right here into this area, connected to the bag, and then all the lines are connected. Same thing, this one also stripped, so I had to buy a new one. Same size, M14 1.50. And then we're going to connect the back. In order to make this a lot easier to remove, take this top part off. This will allow the whole assembly to go down, which will allow you to push it out and get the strut out. And then you also have to remove this bottom one right here, and remove this one and this one to slip the whole thing out. If you do not remove this, you will not be able to take this out because this stops it from taking it all the way out. You do have to use an open-ended wrench on the other side to hold it in place and then loosen this one up, or you're going to end up spinning it and stripping the bolt. Now for the driver's side, the airline was at the bottom. Right here, goes through that hole, goes all the way to the back inside of this right here. Take off these 10 mils and then you can open it up. Goes all the way back into the same grommet that we have for the rear line for the rear bag. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a quick explanation. I'm going to tighten everything up and then we're going to put the wheel back on and we should be good and done. Alright guys, so everything is pretty much done now. Let's go ahead and go over it really quick, do a quick recap. Here is everything connected. Yeah, the black wires are connected to the battery right here on the negative. And then you have the positive one that has both of the fuses, green fuses in there. And it's connected right there. The 12 mil, take that off, install it. I'm still going to add electrical tape to these right here. And then the front bag, it has air in it already. I think it's at like 100 psi right now. And the rear one is about 80. And then if you go to the back, here's everything connected. The main harness right here, and then all the airlines. And I did grab this line, which is the exhaust, put it down into the grommet leading outside. That way it's really loud when it airs out. Just in case you want to do that. If you don't want it to be loud, leave it inside the cabin area. That way it's not loud and you can't hear it from the outside. And then here we have the bottom one, which allows us to go ahead and allow air to get out. And then we have these right here connected to the compressors. I'm going to add electrical tape to that as well. And then we're going to be connecting this thing right here for the water trap. That way the water trap can sit on there instead of hanging loose kind of like that, which we don't want. And then this, I'm going to cut these to make it shorter, so it sits kind of like right here. And then we can switch the plates the other way, that way it faces towards us instead of the opposite direction. So that's how it's looking for right now. Looks really good. He wanted to keep his custom trunk setup with the red logo, which I think looks pretty cool. Gives it a lot of cool red accents on the inside. Let's go ahead and turn it on. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm going to do. Oh, and then here's the interior. As I told you guys, the interior is like beautiful in here. It's all carbon fiber. I want to get this for my car. Looks super sick. And then he has the carbon fiber gauges right there. Carbon fiber all right here. This thing is just beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to get all this. I already have the carbon fiber tripods up here, but I don't have this, and this looks so much better. But I have the screen on mine, so I most likely only be able to do like the outer part. It has carbon fiber right here too. It looks super sick. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And the control turns on. It hasn't lost air at all. It's good. You will see the bags go down if you're losing air. But right now the only air that I'm getting is that there's a fault in compatible revision. It means that you have to go ahead and connect your phone via Bluetooth and download the most recent app on here. It's just outdated. So go ahead and do that with your phone, download it, and then you won't have that issue anymore. Right now he cannot use his presets because he has this issue or this fault. So just do that and it will be good. I'm going to do that in a few seconds. But other than that, everything's installed. You do need to go ahead and calibrate the system. But to do this, you need to get out of the car. So we're going to go ahead and calibrate the system. Usually it'll ask you in the beginning, but I already did it. But we're going to go ahead and do it again. You're going to push these two, the Airlift and the top one together. And it's going to bring you up this screen. And then you're going to go down to calibration. Click on that. Click start. Is the vehicle at a level surface? Yes. Front wheel straight? Yes. Free of obstructions? Yes. Manifold mounted? Yes. 2 compressors if you have 2. 1 if you only have 1. We have 2 in this case. Auto. No height sensors on this one. And then yes. And then the vehicle will start moving. And then just make sure there's nothing under the car, because the car is going to start moving in a little bit. Right now it's just checking all the bags to make sure it has air and everything. It can fill up, go up and down. Alright, that should be the end of it. Now the system is calibrated. This thing looks so sick. So there you go. Everything's now done. I'm gonna go ahead and let him know he can come pick it up. I'm just gonna fix those things. Gonna go get electrical tape, and we're good to go. Well, hi guys, I didn't see you there. So we're gonna go ahead and end that video right there. As you guys saw, it was a super easy install, and right now I'm actually hiking, so I thought I'd go ahead and record this video and this beautiful scenery outside. It just looks a lot better, a lot more like appealing to the eye. This car came out super sick. I'll be linking down his information in the description down below. That way you can go ahead and hit him up. He has an Instagram, TikTok. I'll link it all down below. He did send me a few clips of his car. That way you can go ahead and check it out. So I'll be adding that as well at the end of the video. But I will be bagging a 350Z in the next video, and then after that we'll most likely be doing a G35 as well if everything falls through. So stay tuned to those videos. Also, if you guys want to get your car back, make sure to hit me up. I've done so many cars already. I've done like 4 370Zs, I've done a G35, I've done a Q60. So if you guys are interested, make sure to hit me up. I'll get you guys done right. It is Thanksgiving today, so make sure you guys have a great Thanksgiving. If you're not watching this on Thanksgiving, make sure you have a blessed day. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.